today. Okay.
Is it like
I know we're
$20
live, but I
with
actually want to
inflation?
talk about this just to give people a background here. This Starbucks coffee cost me $7. It's just ice and coffee. Just to let you know the state of the market, guys. You know, it's not
You
only
know how it
crypto
looks
fun,
like
man.
when you show it this way. It looks like when you have to
They're
do, medical
a
exams,
hun-
these things.
100%, man. Yeah, like this is crazy, man. The whole market is falling, man, and we're
Yes,
here.
it is.
Yeah.
But thankfully, we have Gabro, man. How you doing? Thanks for coming on the channel.
It's my pleasure to be here. Thank you for inviting me. And let's say that it's a pleasure for me because I'm Italian and my YouTube channel is Italian, but it's such a pleasure to have this debate conversation with you. I have been always following you. I don't know if all your videos, but many of them. And there's
That's
always
good.
something new to learn. And it's a pleasure to share because I'm sure that we can give a very good content to the community. We can debate, discuss some things. And let's hope that everybody's going to enjoy and learn something new.
I love it, man. I
Yeah.
love it, man. So maybe let's start off with just talking a bit maybe about yourself. Like what got you into crypto? What's your background? What do you do? We know, before this we started off saying your channel fully in Italian. So maybe we can talk about that in a bit. And guys, if you have any questions for us, leave them in the chat. We'll definitely address those and we'll see what Gabriel's comments on it will be, man. So maybe just start off talking about yourself for a bit, man. What got you into crypto?
This is a very nice question because when I remember that I did for some years just forex trading. I liked it a lot. I liked trading. I wanted to spend my whole time in front of the charts. I like to learn technical analysis. Then I started studying supply and demand, order flow. I really enjoyed it a lot. And after a while, after several years, I remember one day my father calling me and telling me like, Gabri, I heard about this Bitcoin, but I don't know what it is. I just know it's a cryptocurrency. Why don't you start checking, what Bitcoin is? Because I think it's very interesting. They talk about the price, and I was like, oh, please, I don't want to know about these scams. I don't know. I don't want to know about these things, crypto, whatever it is. I don't want to know about it. And he insisted, like, take a look, Gabriel, they're talking about it even on TV. It was 2017. And I was like, okay, you know what? I'm going to promise you that I take a look at it. I know that I can already, say that it's BS. I don't want to know anything about it. Just want to continue with my Forex trading. And I remember that one day later, 2 days later, I was reading, I was in front of the screen, and after a while, I was like, oh my gosh! I mean, this is amazing. I mean, this is called blockchain. And I liked it so much that I started my path. I watched so many videos. I learned so much. And in the end, I decided to open a YouTube channel because I wanted to start talking about it with people, sharing about it. And the beautiful thing is that I started with Bitcoin. I thought that there was only Bitcoin. It was the only cryptocurrency in existence. And then, more and more and more and more and more till I joined the niche that which is PulseChain, Hex, and the whole Richard Hart's ecosystem. And it's amazing because I know it's a niche in the niche. And it's beautiful. So I decided to stop with trading because I learned that trading is not a very good thing. I understood the explanation. Now I want to share why I decided to change. And that's good. I share it with the community.
There we go, man.
Man, that's
There we
super
go.
interesting. So you got in. So you were saying you got in back in 2017, eh? How was it when you first measured the percentage
Later,
growth?
it was already bear
Oh,
market. I mean, it was
oh,
2018. I
okay.
didn't touch anything. I was like, I see everything crashing, and I don't know how to do it.
Yeah.
I remember my first tutorials about how to open an account with a centralized exchange, and I watched the video like 4 times because I was shaking, sweating. Everything was so
Oh
new,
man,
and I am a cautious person, generally talking.
that's true, and
And
that's
now
how it
I
always
like it
starts, man.
all. Yeah,
That's how it
and I
always
like
starts.
it all.
Always we start off with trading, and you realize it's not really built for the average Joe. Where we're basically giving them the money, and then the bigger institutions are making the money out of that. And then you come in, you're trading. It's so easy to start, but it's hard to actually learn about those bigger projects and try to invest. I think it's a harder game to actually invest, and trading is the easy way to get in. But obviously, you're gonna lose a lot. So that's everybody. Like, I mean, Brendan, like how many times everybody we get on the channel, like what was the first time you did? How did you get into crypto? And
It's
the first
trading,
thing
right?
is traders. Like they started to trade,
Because
they lost money.
that's what's promoted. That's what's kind of push to a lot of people when they're initially coming into investing, and it's kind of like what's the phrase, like a two-sided sword, a two-sided knife, because on the one side it's good and interesting to learn like technical analysis, but on the other side, if you're actively high frequency trading, you're exposing yourself to a lot of risk very often, a lot of random events, and that risk is not theoretical, it manifests itself. And so it makes a lot of sense, man. While we're hearing this a lot of people came in, started trading, realized that risk is a very real thing, realized that risk does manifest itself, and slowly but surely we kind of start to learn more and more what works. And so you said you kind of started looking into kind of the PulseChain, PulseX, Hex side of things. How did you start hearing about that?
It's just a coincidence. I don't even remember actually how, but and that's why I'm gonna say that in Italy we don't have a very good situation for now about the PulseChain and Hex ecosystem, because I was trying to find new projects. I was trying to study new blockchains. I wanted to understand more and more, until suddenly I found a video of Richard Hart, and then I started, taking one after another, was watching videos and videos. And I know that you perfectly know the feeling when you watch some of his videos, that you feel that you're learning while you're watching it.
Yeah.
It's something that you feel it nurtures you. You watch it and you're like, hey, today I understood something new nobody talked about. For example, when he talked, just to give a small example, I never thought about market cap in the way he talks about market cap. I always thought that the way of ranking cryptocurrencies on the main websites that we perfectly know was the right way. The higher the market cap, the better project is. When it's not, and learning it from Richard Hart, I started pondering and understanding so many things, and I wanted to know more and more. And then I found other channels like yours and others, and I decided to learn more and more. I really love all these things, and that's what I mean. And it's amazing. It's amazing because most of the people, I finish just saying that people from outside, outside of the crypto world, they think that we are crazy. We're just a niche and we are crazy. But then inside the crypto world, there is another niche and the maximalist of something else. And people in the crypto world think that you are crazy, that we are crazy because we like PulseChain hacks, that we didn't understand anything.
Yeah.
Everybody, look, man, that's what we always talk about it, me and Brendan, man. I'm like, the amount of toxic back and forth you hear or you see on Twitter is crazy. Like, and we put it last time, we're like, crypto's literally a bunch of geeks, and they're we're all fighting about who has the best software out there, and that's it.
Yeah,
everyone,
yeah.
no matter what, no matter
Yeah.
what project you're in, they're always gonna find some sort of another group calling the other group, you guys are a scam. Yeah, good luck making money with this. Good luck trying to be this or that. Good luck trying to get mass adoption.
Yeah.
Sadly enough, the Richard Hart or the Hex community gets more of that, which is I guess that's just the sad part behind it. But again, you can tell there's a chip on Richard's shoulder, and he's trying to prove that, hey, and everything you actually listen to the videos, and there's definitely and that's what I always thought. There's definitely a charisma that the guy has, and he has a lot of knowledge, and he's been around for a while. That every time you listen to him, all you got to do is just listen, and you're gonna learn a lot. Because I think I think a big part of it is he's simplifying crypto. Because crypto, at the end of the day, is a software. It's code, and there's all these different elements that are baked into it, like from a financial side, blockchain side, technology, and it's hard to understand. You listen to Charles Hoskinson, for example, Cardano, you still don't understand. Let's say when he's speaking, you really need some sort of a heavy knowledge.
It's unclear that he understands.
but again, they're very smart guys, like Vitalik and all these other very intelligent human beings. But I think Richard is the only one that kind of bridged that gap from a very technical background to a non-technical audience. We're all not programmers. We're all not coders.
Yeah.
We're all not blockchain experts. And I think he's doing a great job communicating all those ideas to us. And that's what's creating the following. You don't find anywhere else, man.
Yeah.
And it's funny. Crypto is like almost this humans, we're almost like monkeys. We're very tribal beings.
You're a
And
monkey,
it's like
man.
like crypto's like these little groups of monkeys all on islands, all throwing shit at each other, saying my island's the best. But
Yeah.
to go back to like why I think so many people are saying similar things about Richard, because I don't know if you agree, but I find that Richard, because he got in crypto early, he remembers why crypto was valuable in the first place. And man, like I see, these large influencers today, they seem to ignore or forget some of the fundamentals that made crypto valuable in the first place, like being immutable, being decentralized, not being able to have admin keys over your tokenomics, like having the tokenomics being entrenched in the smart contract where you can't change things on a whim. Those are extremely valuable fundamentals that I think are very often dismissed in large parts of, I think, the culture in crypto today. And I think one of the reasons why Richard's so popular is because he reminds us that these fundamentals are important. They're not just little things. No. It's the entire reason why cryptocurrency is valuable in the first place.
Definitely.
Yeah, I love it. He's very direct when he talks. He doesn't say, he doesn't lie, and he says something that makes us feel a bit guilty, but it's true. Like, guys, we're not here for the technology. Stop saying BS. We are here because we want money. And people are like, no, I'm here because because it's a revolution, and we're here. No, guys, you're here for money. It's okay.
Yeah,
You can admit it. There's no problem. There's no problem.
Yeah.
You can say it. You're not a bad person if you're here for money. It's okay. You can learn. And he likes to teach, and we like to learn. So when he warms up because somebody challenges him, it's like, let's go. I'm ready. When was the best time to buy Bitcoin? When Satoshi owned 100% of the supply. I was mining Bitcoin. I made it, and it's funny, because he makes it a bit funny, but he knows his style. He knows what he does, and he wants people to understand. This is beautiful because he has such a big knowledge of things, and he wants to be direct. He wants people to understand, and he doesn't like when people don't admit limits of things. For example, very fast, Bitcoin has its limits. But people are like, no, Bitcoin is perfect. You cannot talk about Bitcoin in a negative way. Nobody's saying that Bitcoin is bad. Nobody's saying that Bitcoin is,
it's limited. That's it.
It's limited. There are problems. So if we want to talk about proof of stake, what's the problem if we say that proof of work can have problems? No, it's not true. Proof of work doesn't consume energy. It does. Why do you say it's not?
Yeah.
There are problems, but nobody's saying that Bitcoin should disappear and leave its place to Hex. Hex is not here to, to make Bitcoin fade away. This is not the meaning. They always take it as a personal attack. Ethereum 2.0. We have PulseChain. You want PulseChain because you want to kill Ethereum 2.0. No, nobody said that. This is unbelievable.
Yeah, that's what we always say, man. We're like, we're in a market right now. You got the most fastest car. You got the most safest car. You got the most, the bigger the car. Like, there's so many different. I think there's. It's tribal. That's what I think it is. It's tribal, and to be honest with you, I think I think just because it started off with a bunch of kids, and we are the kids that came into it, and we're learning, and you needed someone to come in from back in the day to be like, hey, by the way, you're talking about market cap, you're talking about all this shit, you're talking about how much I hold in my wallet, just to let you know, the same Bitcoin you like. The same guy that invented it had 100% of the supply at one point, and that was the best time to invest in it. So keep that in mind. Like, it's important to have that history behind it. And all what people, I think there's a lot of good products in crypto, and they're all gonna coexist. Ethereum, I think, is gonna still stay there. I think Bitcoin's still gonna stay there. I still think Hex is gonna be there. All these bigger things are gonna be there. But granted, 95% of the whole crypto space will not be there. Right, because you need those fundamentals, and again, when you look at the Hex ecosystem and the PulseChain and PulseX, you can't help but see that there's something being built. Regardless of whatever your thoughts are, just like how there's Cardano being built, just how like Polkadot's being built right now, and everything else, there is a piece of the pie for everybody, and you guys should understand, man.
No, dude,
pisses me off, bro.
Yeah, there's tons of opportunity in crypto, and that's kind of what I want to ask you as well, man. Like, because look, there's Cardano, where a lot of people think there's opportunity there. There's Solana, a lot of people think there's opportunity there. What was it about PulseChain and PulseX that got you specifically interested in that and not something else?
So let's say that they are very good experiments. For example, even Solana that wants to be so fast because we need solution to solve, for example, problems about scalability. So Solana needs to wanted to find a solution in order to have super fast transactions and, for example, help some parts of the cryptocurrency world, like NFTs, to be traded and to have very fast transactions without any problem. But then we see that there are network problems, and I don't want to go against it because I know that, for example, there are people who really want to attack and say like, oh, this is a failure because Solana's network has a lot of problems. And I don't want to attack. I don't want to do this because I understand that people are trying to build. I don't want to be, in a team or in a tribe and say we are better than you. You failed and we're going to have success. I don't like it. I truly hope that we're going to have success and that we're going to be, disruptive. But I don't want to have a fight with anybody else. Cardano, for example, is very decentralized. I like things, but I don't like other things. But about PulseChain, Richard has been so intelligent because he understood that, okay, people have a lot of prejudice and they can be confused about so many layer ones that we have. Okay, you know what? We know that the problem is Ethereum, which it was the first one. We know that the problem is there. We need a network that is faster. They are promising, Ethereum 2.0, and they are postponing. Okay, we don't stand this thing anymore. People don't have to pay $200, $500 gas fee for a transaction. This is unbelievable. So let's fix it. And he wants to fix it to help the community. And even to help Hex, we know that it started with Hex, but then to help the whole the whole community to network. And giving the biggest, largest airdrop ever to people. This is not something that he wants to give for free just because he wants to become famous and be like, oh, look what I'm giving to you. I'm giving you the best thing ever. I'm giving you, this is an airdrop. No, this is like, I want to help you using the network in a proper way. And if you hear about PRC20s, you're going to come to the network. You're going to come to use it, and you're going to find it out. You're going to see the existence of this network. This is good for you because there are a lot of advantages using PulseChain. And then you can discover that it's a very good one. You're going to go out of Ethereum for a while, just, because it's very congested. And it's helpful even for new projects to build, for small projects to build something to move on. And I think it's super smart. And at the same time, even if he brags a lot, because we have to say even this thing that he brags a lot and people don't like him, but he has a strategy in his mind. He's not stupid. He has a strategy in his mind. He wants to reach people.
Get on your nerves.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And so what's your experience been like talking about PulseChain, but more so maybe crypto? Like, do you find in Italy that people are very close-minded to crypto? Is the culture open to crypto, PulseChain? What has your experience been like that?
Okay, specifically, you mean people that hear about Bitcoin and crypto, or people in crypto hear about PulseChain and Hex?
Both.
Okay, nice one. People, when I talk with people about crypto, some people are very interested about price performance, I have to say. But most of them are like, I had a friend who joined Bitcoin. He was like, okay, I'm going to buy Bitcoin. And after 2 months, he sold. And when I asked, like, why did you do it? He was like, man, it was 2 months. It's even too long. I wanted to sell. I was like, okay, we didn't talk about it. And my best friend doesn't feel like joining at all because he said, I wouldn't sleep during the night if I bought crypto. I want to keep my money in the bank account. I don't agree, but I understand that I would never suggest anybody to join crypto if they don't sleep. It's not for everybody. Right. It's just for some people. And about the people who are already in crypto, there's a lot of gatekeeping about Hex and PulseChain. For the most part, it's connected to Richard Hart. It's visible. They don't like him at all. They attack him the whole time. They talk about him when they talk about him, because I've noticed that they don't want to mention him at all. For example, during some of their live streams, people of the community were asking over and over again, what do you think about Hex? What do you think about? And they were avoiding those questions. When it became, too much and they had to answer, they simply said, either it was like, I don't like Hex. Maybe I don't think it's really a scam, but I don't like it. So we don't have any innovation with Hex. or like, oh, this is one of the worst Ponzi schemes ever. So guys, stay away from this. And about PulseChain, they don't say it's a scam, but they're like, yeah, it's just a layer one. They don't even know maybe that it's a layer one. They just avoid to talk about it. And it's really, really hard, I have to say. It's like they put you away, like, okay, you Hexicans, Pulsicans, you're a small group. We don't communicate with you. I hope to have a live stream with them sooner or later.
100%, man. So what are you most excited about right now with the launch and everything? Well, what are you looking for? I know certain people are looking for the gains. Other people are looking for, what kind of projects are gonna come into the chain. Other people are looking, is this shit just gonna break upon release? Well, what are you most excited about or looking forward to see how things kind of play out upon launch?
This is an interesting one because I really
ask
want to
interesting
see
questions, man. That's who I am.
Yeah, I know, you're very smart.
I fed him
you
that
very
question.
I don't know if Brandon
No,
tells you. Brandon, do you tell him that he's very smart? Do you do it?
No, behind his
He
back.
does
I'll
behind
say
my
it, but I
back,
would
bro.
never say it to his face.
Bro, you know the amount of times because I listen to every live stream, even sometimes when I don't show up. He talks shit only when I'm not around and I can't defend myself, man. Always, and I'm listening. I'm listening. I'm like, wow, what a guy, man. This is
news, utter propaganda.
Wow. Anyways, man, sorry to cut you off. Go ahead.
No, it's okay. No, I'm really excited about the launch of PulseChain because, we've even been waiting for a long time. So there's even a time component in this. I'm very excited because I know that there is a solution here. This is really something that people underestimate. And I want to, it's like you have it in your mind, like you buy a house and you think about the furniture, you think about everything. And they tell you, why are you so excited about it? And you're like, because I want to see it. I want to see it in front of me exactly, or just a little bit different that I have in my mind, I want it in front of me. And I know that PulseChain is going to bring a lot of innovation. People still don't know. And there's even another thing. It's true about the price performance. It's true. Come on, guys. Let's be honest. I know that this is going to be something that is going to motivate us a lot moving on because, come on, layer ones tend to do it. And it's even part of it. It's even right. It's like when you do a very good job, when you bring innovation, when you do something very good and you even get paid, let's say, because you have something good because of what you're doing. It's good. It's like a loop. It's like a cycle. So I want to see even the entire crypto world, many people getting close and be like, we are curious. We want to learn. And the last thing that I'm going to say is that I want to see people being interested even about learning, because I know 100% that if people get close to PulseChain and Hex, they are going to be open to learn. People who are in Hex and PulseChain communities, they are eager to learn. They're not like, okay, just somebody did it, but then they didn't stay. Like, oh, tell me how much money I can make. Then they leave because people are snobbing them. Like, no, we're not here just for this. We want to learn. And this can really bring a different mindset in people, a mentality that is going to change. And they want it. We are eager for it. Yeah.
Yeah, man. No, that's awesome. And I feel a very similar way. Like me personally, one of the biggest things I've been struggling with, not so much struggle, but it's a constant debate, is how do I attempt to best communicate the opportunity here with PulseChain? Because it's incredibly, incredibly unique. It is so rare to be able to get in on a new layer one blockchain early, and we have that opportunity with PulseChain. But not only do we have that opportunity, but we're extremely lucky to get in early on a layer one blockchain with extremely good fundamentals, where it's deflationary from the start. Not because Richard just randomly burns. No, it's in the code. It's immutable, entrenched in the code. That's a massive value add. This should be working day one. Smart contracts functioning, swaps functioning day one. Unlike Cardano, unlike Polkadot, unlike Solana, who even still, after years of being out, I mean, the Polkadot pair change started last summer. Solana's down, every other week. Cardano, when Pancake something, when the cupcake launched, the DEX, it shut down. I mean, it was some kind of pastry. The point is that PulseChain is launching at such an elevated level compared to its competitors. Plus, you have all those bullshit tokenomics, man. It's such a massive opportunity. And again, like in crypto, I find everyone's so used to being shilled the new little capture gem of the week, and everyone's trained to go from the next scene to the next and the next and the next. And again, you made me mess, and you can go and disagree with me. You can let me know what you say, Gabriel. But like, I'm always trying to keep in mind, how can I continue to best describe how this is a unique, not a unique possibility, a unique what's the word I'm looking for? Opportunity. A unique opportunity. Yeah. And that's some kind of I try and keep in mind always when producing content. I don't know.
Thing is, man, I think it's 100% education in the space. That's what it is. I think there's so much information like that. We're drowning in information right now when it comes to crypto. What do you look at? We want to look at stable coins. We want to look at centralized stable coins, fractional reserve backed stable coins. You want to talk about Terra Luna. You want to talk about Chainlink nodes, validators. What do you want to talk about? You know, decentralized or non-decentralized. How many validators they got? Are they based in China or based in the Cayman Islands? There's so much. That's the problem, is that even for us, me and you, man, so much stuff about the stuff we talk about within the Hex, PulseChain, PulseX ecosystem. You know, also, Gary, you probably see we talk about crypto.com, the Kronos chain, and everything as well. So much within that we're drowning in it, that we ask so many times, like we read every time, we try to keep on understanding. There's always something that you're missing. There's always a factor that you didn't know about, and I think that's the problem. I think it's just like keep clawing at it until someone gets it. Because when we're talking about first layer or layer one blockchain, this is a big opportunity. Everyone saw Solana. Everybody saw everybody saw Ethereum. Everybody saw Terra Luna. Everyone looked at Matic. They're so they're drowned in that information, and YouTube doesn't make it any better, man. I go on YouTube to search up crypto. I get literally 1,000 cryptos out there. Good luck trying to explain to someone what's happening, and I'm pretty sure whatever, you know. We're probably gonna ask you what happened with what are your comments if you have any comments on whatever happened with Terra Luna in the past couple of days and all that, but back to your question, man, I really think it's just there's so much shit out there, man, that you cannot pay attention to something regardless of how shiny it is. And that's the unfortunate part.
Yeah. Crypto's a moving ball. There's a forever changing set of factors that are more or less important to consider at any one given time or not. But look, man, that again, like, that's another reason why I like PulseChain, is because, you know, for kind of the retail investor, you don't necessarily need to know the nuances of everything. I mean, buying and holding long term is a highly successful strategy that requires kind of, you know, low management, and is probably gonna be pretty profitable for most people. But Gabro, if we could maybe ask you a more specific question here, and I'm sure the people would be interested. Do you have any thoughts as to what you might prefer more, PulseChain or PulseX?
That's a nice one, because I have to be very careful about the answer.
You're stepping on toes here, man. You gotta be careful.
They both have a very big potential. We know that if we just think about layer ones and like DEXs, we know that when we talk about a new blockchain, we know that those coins tend to perform better than DEXs ones. But in the case of PulseX, we even know that it has a mechanism that K4K Crypto, for example, explained in a very good way, even if it's a bit complex and also not many details. But it's relevant to know that I think that Richard Hart thought about it too, because he really likes to see his projects performing well. So PulseX has a buy and burn mechanism, which is very good and very well built, for which it can help the demand increasing too, because it is not only about burning, but it's even about buying. So there is the percent for every single transaction that is going to help. And this is not just about the mechanism itself, which is already very good, but it gave a lot of hope to the community that PulseX is going to perform very well. So the community expect it to go well. They don't think just about PulseChain, like they're like, oh, there's somebody who's saying that PulseX is going to do great. And we are talking about 1000x, 10,000x, and people don't think just about PulseChain able to perform 10,000x, but even PulseX. And we even know that in the beginning, maybe even now, many people were saying, like, I'm going to swap my PLSX tokens for PLS because I sacrificed more for PulseX. I want to balance more, or I want just to go on PulseChain because I want to have the best performance. So I'm going to try to move there. But then we had other pieces of info. And now we know that PulseX can perform very well. It can do great. So I don't really know which one is going to perform better. It can be, and I expect it, that they're going to stay balanced in a certain way. One is going to perform way better, maybe PLS in the beginning. I don't know, because there's a lot of hype about it. But then even PulseX is going to take its path, and it's going to maybe outperform PLS in a certain stage, in a certain phase.
So you basically took the safest route here, man. That's basically what you're going. That's basically what you're telling us.
I like safe path. I mean, they're both amazing.
100%.
Yeah. I like
Brandon, what do you think, man? Just say it and say it out loud.
Look, to put it very clearly, I think there's a case for PulseChain outperforming the short term, simply because, you know, if you tell retail, oh, hey, we got a faster, cheaper Ethereum, that's PulseChain. Oh, great, I think they understand that. But you try to explain to them, oh, we have a decentralized exchange with buy and burn. It's a little bit more confusing, and and when people think about decentralized exchanges, they think of Uniswap, where Uniswap's not particularly interesting. So I just think PulseX requires a little bit more explanation, and because of that, I can imagine a more buy pressure in the short term going to PulseChain. But like you said, man, that buy and burn, that's what people have to not forget. I think over the long term, maybe a year to 2 years out, once the volume starts to build up on PulseChain and PulseX, that's when I think PulseX has the chance to outperform. As soon as that volume starts to really pick up on PulseX, that buy and burn is significant. It's extremely significant. And if I can just add something as well, I want to know what you think here, because there's one thing that I've been harping on as of recent, which has been bothering me a lot, and I want to know if you've been thinking about it.
Speak it out loud, man. Speak it out loud, man.
Incentive token. Richard has not been speaking about the incentive token, the tokenomics, and how it works. And that's extremely important, because I'm sure you're well aware, depending how that's constructed, the inflation, how it's delved out, that's going to affect the value proposition of holding PulseX massively. And so there's this like massive unknown factor that we still don't know about in terms of PulseX. So that's still a large unknown for me. But yeah, no, that's currently how I'm viewing the situation.
Damn. Okay.
You know, how do you plan on? Yeah, how do you plan on what's your strategy for when this launches? Are you going to accumulate more PulseChain, more PulseX? Are you staking, liquidity providing, any of that? What do you think?
And what's your social insurance number?
Yeah, I thought about it, because there is something interesting that I was pondering. Like, my first question would be, and people are like, no, it's never going to happen, but I was thinking about it. Is it possible for the price to go below the sacrifice price when it launches? And I thought about some scenarios, and okay, it would be very weird if people started selling even below the sacrifice price. But what if it happens? Because people sell, that they lose, but they don't care because they panic. We know that many guys, many people don't have the attitude.
It's like 99% of projects.
When they first launch. So I thought, like, what am I going to do? Am I going to just hold? And I thought, like, let's take a very, very terrible and even interesting scenario. I think it's not going to happen, but just imagine that PulseChain launches and price retraces 90% from the launching price. I know it's like, something super fancy. I know, but
it's happened.
Let's just take this scenario. What would they do? And I thought, like, if I just add, because I believe in the project, if I just add the 10% I added fiat money, 10% of what I sacrificed, the moment it reaches the same level again, the sacrifice price, I have doubled the money that I have on PulseChain.
Right.
And this is going to be amazing, because then you can really count. I know that when you want to count the axis of the price performance, we're going to count it from the sacrifice price and from the lowest price ever, which could be above the sacrifice price or below it. So I decided to even think about this scenario, because worst case scenario, it goes very bad, it fails completely, and I have lost the money that I have sacrificed and that 10% more. But in that case, with the 90% retracement, I can add 10% and I'm going to have 200% of that money when it reaches the sacrifice level again. This is just one strategy. I hope, and I think it will never happen. I just think that it's going to, go up and down, retrace a lot, but sacrifice price is going to be a very important one, and people are going to defend it a lot. So this is my way, and I'm going to hold a lot, and then very likely what I'm going to do is for sure I'm going to stake PulseX, PLSX, because I think it's the safest thing that I could do, talking about myself. And let's see about farming, because there is the risk of impermanent loss. We have even to see how it goes. But a good thing is that there are many projects who are talking about the liquidity pools on PulseX. For example, Maximus DAO, they already mentioned it on Twitter. Like, what do you think, guys? Would you like to propose if we, add
That would be
liquidity there on
awesome.
PulseX and I have a pool, There are many opportunities coming. That's how I'm going to hold for sure. Holding is the best thing in case of DAOs.
I think in the beginning is going to depend. I think in the beginning is going to depend on. To be honest with you, I think my intuition is telling me that everyone's going to be, or majority of the market is going to be focused on swapping PulseX to PulseChain. I think PulseChain is the big daddy, in my opinion, and that's like where we try to gauge on Twitter and everything and how people are talking about things. I think the biggest, even for the big whales, I think it's the PulseChain is like the stronghold, right? PulseX is, that's just my intuition though. But depending on the dip is going to depend on what the majority of the market is going to do in the beginning when everything launches. Are we going to, if we switch PulseX to PulseChain, you're going to have the possibility of the price going closer and closer to the sacrifice price, which was 0.0030 ones or so, like a tenth of a cent or something like that for 1,000.
Yeah, so it was one.
Yeah, 3 zeros and a 1, so 1/10 of a cent basically. It depends where that money is going to go, but based on everything I see, I think a lot of people, the PulseX would be the smartest move so far on paper, especially because we don't know what's happening with the incentive token and how that is going to affect your returns and everything early on. I think PulseChain looks like it's the more glittery, shiny thing for the time being, and then depending on initially where the market is going to go, if you're going to see the pair PulseX to PulseChain pair, if everyone's switching to PulseChain, I think that's gonna, or PulseChain to PulseX, that's gonna affect the other, is gonna affect either or in terms of getting closer and closer to the sacrifice phase price. Is that going to happen? We don't know, but I think that's going to be the biggest factor. We have to look at the PulseX to PulseChain pair chart and see, try to understand where that's going to take us, and from there you either want to buy the dip. I think there's going to be a huge dip, in my opinion, to be honest. I don't think that's unreasonable to say. Is it closer to the sacrifice price? I'm not sure, but every project that comes up has a dip regardless. So, but you got to add the fact also that the Hex community are diamond hands, man. These guys never sell, I guess. It's the whole social what's the word I'm looking for, man?
It's like a socially enforced mechanism. Like it's the culture is
cult.
Yeah.
The cult.
Yeah, but that's why it's a great cult to be in, right?
100%.
Because there's this culture of buying and holding, delaying gratification, waiting for the long
right
term.
So you got to add that into account. Are these guys going to sell upon launch, or do we have some people that came? Because one thing I always kind of think about is that the Hex community grew bigger, man. And it's not Hexicans. There's a lot of not non-Hexicans, just people, whales from the outside saying like, oh shit, I can probably make more money here. This thing is launched. There's whales that literally just go to new launching projects just to literally just take as much as they can. So that's also in Hex right now. And that's what we need to understand, guys. Like, the bigger the community gets, the less of the OGs are on the system. And some people just want to make a quick buck and get out. So we got to keep that in mind.
Yeah. Now I think that we touch on a lot of really important things. And there's a couple very important considerations we need to take into account here. One thing is, we're talking about a potential dip when this thing launches. I think the extent to which we can dip will be highly determined by to what extent there's a premium on the launch price from the sacrifice phase. So if there's only like a 2x from the sacrifice phase or a 5x, it's actually significant. If we launch at a 5x from the day one sacrifice rate, there's going to be people taking profits. Imagine if we launch at a 10x from the day one sacrifice phase. Yeah, at that point, I think maybe
right
70,
away,
80, 90% is very likely. Because if we launch at a 10x, at that point, whales will take at least some kind of profit. So that's when I think, watching out for what kind of premium we launch at, I think can give us some kind of idea of what dip we might get. Because the bigger the premium from the day one sacrifice rate, I think the bigger the dip we're going to have. So if it's just a 2x, maybe it's only a 30-40% dip. If it's a 10x, maybe it's a 80-90% dip. We have to see something else as well that it's very important. I don't want to forget this before we move on is you mentioned a lot of people are going to be swapping PulseX for PulseChain. And I think you're right. I don't know about you, Gabro, but a lot of people went heavier into PulseX than they did in the PulseChain. But in my opinion, I want to ask you what you think about this as well, is if you're not swapping for anything other than a 1-to-1 ratio, let's say you're swapping 2 PulseX for 1 PulseChain, you're essentially saying that I think that PulseChain will 2x PulseX forever. And I don't know why anyone is super confident in that, because there's a very good argument that even PulseX could outperform PulseChain. So if you're not swapping at anything other than a 1-to-1 ratio, in my opinion, that's extremely risky. Because if you're swapping 2 PulseX for 1 PulseChain, you're saying I think PulseChain is going to 2x forever, and that in my opinion is unlikely. I don't know what you think about that the ratio trading there.
What you're saying is very important in my opinion, because many people are not going to even look at it. Like this kind of fall that you have is something deep, and it could make the difference, a lot of difference. But many people are more like, I don't know if you checked, many times I go in the PulseChain International group on Telegram, and I listen to what I say in the vocal chat. And sometimes they ask questions that are like, but even in the Hedron chat, I remember somebody saying when Hedron price was high, somebody talked and said, like, guys, this is the good moment to buy, because look at the price. It broke the top, and this is the good moment. And I was like, man, what? I mean, this is unbelievable. You think that because price is moving up, you have to buy. And they don't think about the ratio that you're mentioning. But it's very important, because as you said, if you can have, one PLS using 2 PLSX, it means that you think that PLS is going to be, always 2 times, the price of PLSX. But this is not the case. We have always to check and be, like sober in what we do. We don't have to think that we can just move because the crowd moves. Yes, let's do it because it's PLS, it's PulseChain. Let's do it. Or PulseX, they made a video. There is a video on YouTube talking about PulseX. It says that it could do well, so let's swap it now. But maybe it's the worst moment ever to swap.
Yeah.
And they do it just because
so you're saying, man, you're saying you gotta be, you're saying we gotta be logical? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, man.
Crazy.
I mean, we have to be very logical. We have to be, and good advice, and it's not financial advice. But if we have doubts about what we have to do, best thing would be not touching anything. Like get your hands away from mouse and keyboard, because sometimes we think that we have to move fast. We see price moving, candles on the chart moving, and we think like, let me be fast, otherwise I'm gonna miss the opportunity. And this is exactly what we don't want. So what you said is very FOMOing in, even between PulseChain and PulseX. And come on, guys, they're gonna both do amazing in our opinion. So let's be, calm. Let's stay calm. Let's take info. Let's ask. Watch channels like yours, which is amazing, and okay, even others. But let's try to get pieces of info and understand and learn first. Because if we have this kind of doubts, it means that we have to learn more.
100%. And that's what we've been, man, having a bit of a hard time on Twitter, recently, just trying to ask questions, and it is what it is at the end of the day. But I think, look, we touched upon some amazing things right now and very important things. You're extremely knowledgeable. We're very happy you joined us and all that. And I think the one most important question that everyone should be asking right now is, or maybe I'll ask you the question is, what do you think about Richard Hart's twerking moves, man?
This is the important hard-hitting questions.
That's crazy, man.
The question is for you.
Oh yeah, there you go. So never mind them, man.
No, but like, fine. Okay, please.
No, like, I want to ask you personally, like, are you able, because Richard's obviously a very smart guy, but he also, he does some things people don't like. Like, do you personally find that like easy to look past? Do you have a hard time with Richard like doing some of that stuff, or do you kind of understand it, like, oh, he's just doing this for publicity?
That's a hard one now. This is really hard. Um, I believe what he says. I believe that if he says that the reason is that one, like marketing, because he wants people to get to know about him, about what he builds, because he wants to do well, I truly believe that he means it. Then we can talk about strategy. For example, I could even disagree about sometimes even bragging about material things. This is something very personal. And what I have decided to do, and this is really, it's not because I want to be super partus, but I really believe it. I don't want to judge, even if I disagree about something, even if I think that something that he does, maybe it's too much. I want to focus on what he builds. Because even if I didn't like him and they like him, but imagine somebody not liking him as a person. I have to say, like, okay, but what about what you're building? That's what I want to focus about. Are you doing well or not? Are you helping people or not? Yes, you're doing it. That's what I need. I don't need to like you. I don't need to have dreams about you. Okay, if it happens better, but I don't have to like the person at all costs, you know? I mean,
Yeah.
you
Look, man,
understand
I
that
think he's a marketing genius. To be honest with you,
he's a
he's a marketing
genius.
genius. Yeah,
Yeah.
and honestly, just like even if you because you see, like you know, we went through the website and everything. He does understand where traffic and how traffic works online and what is required for certain things, what's not required. He understands even to a point where color palettes. Like I'm pretty sure, like he picked he probably focused so much on the colors behind the PulseX logo and the Hex logo and all that more than
Yeah.
anything, because he understands that and that's what we speak about. You can have the best product out there, but if you are a shitty marketer, it's not really going anywhere. You need that. We're in a place where representation matters these days, and no matter how the traffic comes, that could be always good for some sort of project, because you can do whatever you want. But if you brought in a couple of guys in because I don't know, you're dancing or do whatever you got to do, and they actually come and be like, oh shit, this is actually a great product, like what are we talking about? That's what it is. So I think he's a marketing genius, to be honest. I think he knows Twitter a lot. I think he knows how to market himself a lot, and that's definitely always going to be a positive thing for Hex. But in terms of dance moves, I'm not a fan of the dance moves. I think I could do better.
I just want someone to ask him about the incentive token, man. It's so annoying. Richard's talking to like 24 people over the last 2 months. No one. It's the biggest unknown part about PulseChain and PulseX, and no one asks him about it. I don't get it. It's infuriating.
Why
Are
doesn't
you
he
sure
talk
that he
about it,
knows that?
man?
Sorry.
Are you sure that, maybe it's like, could be one of the very few times in which he doesn't have an answer. And it's like, I'm not going to talk about it. And in his mind, it's like, wow, they took something, that they picked something that I don't know. Interesting.
Maybe, but man, like
No, just joking.
yeah, of course, yeah, but like we're so close to launch a PulseX and PulseChain. Like he should be talking about it, and I'm amazed no one's had like because man, there's been some big people, like crypto people, like who know crypto, who have talked to him. No one, no one asked him about it. It's crazy. Oh man.
Gabriel, what do you think? Are we going to launch this month, man, or what? What's
Yeah,
what's your crystal ball telling you? What's your intuition telling you?
oh wow, this is an interesting one. Oh, I didn't prepare it, Shade, because I have my red glasses with red lens, and usually I can foresee the future using my red
That's great.
glasses.
Brendan
Yeah,
has the
yeah,
orange
kinda.
ones, man.
Yeah, you have the orange ones. I have my red
Yeah.
ones, and I can see the future too.
Oh,
So
okay. The
what I'm
red ones
gonna
must
say
be more
now is,
powerful.
yeah, they're perfect. I cannot sit. If I had my glasses now, I should stand up and take them, but I don't do it. Otherwise, I will tell you for sure when it
Right.
happens. But I can
Okay.
tell you just this way. Mm, I I don't know. I would love it for May, but I have the small feeling inside me that it's not gonna be really this month.
Yeah.
So that's how I'm feeling about it. I hope to be
I think
wrong
he's
because I can't
watching the
wait for it.
market, man. I think he's
You
watching.
think
Yeah.
There's so
so?
much going on. I think there's so much going on, man. Like, but knowing him and knowing how much he likes to be very detailed with the execution and everything, I think he's just waiting to see like what more developments can happen. Right? What you don't agree,
You
Brendan?
you think he's waiting for 10K Bitcoin?
No. I think there's so much happening with the market globally right now. Are we gonna continue to down with Bitcoin? Do we want to see some sort of a bottom? I think those all the things that because I really think right before launch, he's gonna have more info about it, and I just don't think he put out much info yet about what's gonna happen. I think he's gonna have some sort of a blog post, something for us to
Oh, of
read,
course.
some
Yeah,
sort
yeah,
of a
yeah.
document. At least talks about the incentive token. You're not gonna launch PulseX and the staking mechanism and everything without talking about the incentive token.
I don't know,
Right?
man. He actually might.
But again,
There's a
I
chance he
think,
doesn't.
but again, knowing him, knowing how detailed, I guess, he likes his execution to be and his timing, I think he's waiting on more variables to come in from the market to decide.
Look, Richard has said that he's not trying to time the market. Now, should we take him at face value? Probably not. Of course, there's probably things he considers that he probably can't say out loud, and I'm sure that's part of the case. But I don't know, man. Because look, 10K Bitcoin could take 6 months from now. Are we really going to launch 6 months from now?
Why 10K? Like, did he say something about 10K Bitcoin?
Well, yeah, he said from he expects Bitcoin to fall to around 10K. I think he amended his prediction to about 12K, given the move to 69,000. But yeah, no, Richard says he fully still believes in an 85% drop from all-time highs.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
I see Gary J here saying thank you for the 20 pounds donation.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, appreciate it. I just think it's unfair that when PLS and PulseX does a 10,000x, I have to buy a bigger house with a bigger driveway. Oh man, you're so like that's such a tough problem to fit my 3 Lambos. Richard Hart didn't warn us about this. Definite scam. Hey man, this guy got a point.
I could not agree more. And you let me know what you think here, Gabriel. But I think it's frankly the fact that Richard is forcing us to think about what to do with all these gains. It's robbing us of our time. And I was looking forward to not caring about price. But because there's such great bullish tokenomics, now we have to think about price. And it's frankly taking up a lot of my time. And I think that proves that this is all a scam, frankly.
100%.
Yeah,
100%.
yeah. I mean, you should talk about these things, no? Because he always talks about, blockchain technology, always things that you can learn. Let's talk about what we're going to do with cars, and these things. And people ask, when Lambo? This is not about when Lambo, man. This is what are you going to do with the Lambos?
That's
it's a
true.
plural. You have to know what you go. Do you have a garage? Do you have some? What do you put them? Come on, this is
Insurance.
Maybe an off question for you. Let's say you make in general, like what would you do with your first couple $1 million in general? Like actually, not there's not a. What would you really do when you make a significant amount of money? And even guys, if you guys have any, do you reinvest? Do you go buy something? Do you go? What do you do, man?
What's your social security number as well?
Okay. This is, I mean, you're really talking about a very small sum of money, man. I don't know. I think I'm gonna buy new shoes and some Louis Vuitton stuff or something like that. Because come on, man, let's talk about proper money. This is not much. Come on, I can go out to the restaurant. Come on, I can do like Mr. Beast, and buy like $70,000 pizza.
Holy shit, pizza, man. Pizza.
Yeah,
100%.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's a scam.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Guys, make sure go follow Gabro's channel. We have the link. Did you pin?
I put the link down in the description below. I added it to the comments. I can add it. I can add it again right now. But yeah, guys, everyone, go follow him right now. Go follow him. There's a link down in the description below. I'll be posting in the comments in a moment here, and it's in fact mandatory. That you guys go.
It is. I heard the YouTube actually sent us an email saying if you guys don't follow him, there's gonna be repercussions. So
there's gonna be
make sure you do that, man. 100%.
Exactly. So if you
want, Gabro, man, we're pushing towards the hour here. What else? What else do you got, man? What else have you been thinking about the market? Is there anything annoying you, man? Is there anything you're happy about? Is there anything you want to get off your chest? What do you want to say?
Off my chest, right? I have something in my mind. When I see some tweets, because I'm sure that you spend a lot of time on Twitter too, and I see these charts, people posting charts, which is okay. But I mean, like the moment Bitcoin moves a bit and you see like a 2% movement and people start screaming about about some small candles on the 1 hour time frame or 15 minutes, and I'm like, guys, this is not the way. And then I go to read comments hoping for people to have their head on their neck, and they're like, oh, what are we going to do now? Do you think that it's going to go lower? Do you think that it's going to go, is this bear market? And I feel even more that we are so early. We are so early. Even in the crypto world, we are early. We have a lot to show, a lot to share with people. And I can't wait for PulseChain to get launched and see people coming and understanding more and more. And this is amazing. And let's take the good, because otherwise we just feel bad. But this is the good side.
100%.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
what I feel.
Yeah.
Is this what is this written in Italian, man? Here, what do we got in this comment here from Crypto?
He's saying that we are scammers. He's just saying that we are scammers.
Hey, that's our first Italian comment.
No, it's not.
No.
He's talking about CoinMarketCap and the documentary that is gonna be amazing. Thank you, guys. Thank you a lot for this time. Really, this is amazing. Even the documentary is gonna be amazing, guys. We didn't mention it.
Yeah.
It's big stuff.
Yeah, I wonder. I don't know when that will come out, but it should be interesting.
Do you have some plans about promoting it like with Netflix, Prime? He has something big, right?
100%. I think that's one of his biggest projects, probably. Like that's on the marketing front. So,
yeah.
Do you think you're gonna see Lambo? Do you think you're gonna see a Ferrari in the documentary?
Oh, 100%. I know for a fact. Yeah.
With a small, motorcycle or a kind of
like a moped, and he got all his watches on and stuff. Yeah, 100%, man. Of course.
Don't tell anything, guys. Expected it.
Yeah. But I want to ask you too, man. So look, you said you've been in crypto kind of a minute. You went from the trading front to now in investing in PulseChain, kind of the regenerative ecosystem. I want to ask you, if you kind of had to summarize what you found to be maybe some of the the biggest takeaways, lessons learned, if you kind of reflect on your time in crypto, is there any kind of wisdom, any kind of lessons learned that you want to share from your experience being in these kind of different niches to now where you are today?
What I can share, which is the best thing ever for me, is that I had a period in my life when I was doing trading in which I felt very good about what I was doing because I was good. Problem is that trading is very dangerous. And then I started underestimating the danger that was in it. And what I can say is that I have been learning so much about being humble, and that learning is so important. And we have to keep our feet on the ground. That crypto, I think, is not only, doesn't only have the best performing assets ever. It's such a revolution even for what we can learn and understand how things work and understand even more how we work, how we think. Because many times we think that we understood the market. Remember when we were expecting Bitcoin to reach $100,000 in December, and the market showed us over and over again that we can be completely wrong, even if we follow big influencers, big people on YouTube, wherever they are. So it's important now to learn, focus on that, and be humble. Even if we have years and years of experience, we always have to learn, and we can be wrong. So it's important to admit when we are wrong. It's not about us being right, it's about the truth. So let's learn, let's keep our feet on the ground and see what the market teaches us.
That's such a great message, man. You're absolutely right. And the market will even trick you where, you learn something, you're starting to feel a little bit confident. And again, the market will constantly teach you lessons. The market's the best teacher. So yeah, you got to have an open mind. You got to be constantly willing to learn. You got to be humble, again, willing to learn, not get too confident, not to get cocky, because that's when risk manifests itself. So man, that's a great message, dude. Thank you so much for coming on. We're running up on an hour here, so we'll finish up here in a minute. Make sure to stick around a little bit once we leave the live stream as well. But yeah, man, do you have kind of any final thoughts, anything you'd like to say before we wrap up?
It's my utmost pleasure to be here. Thank you for inviting me, and really, this has been an amazing time. I'm gonna keep following you because you have an amazing channel, really. And
you gotta invite us to your channel, man.
in Italian, I think that otherwise
We'll learn Italian. We'll
We'll
show
do.
up next
We'll
week.
have Google. We'll have Google Translate. We'll have Google Translate ready to go.
Thank you
100%,
guys
man.
really for
Yeah.
inviting me.
Thank
It's
you,
really
man.
nice
Really
Appreciate you, man,
appreciate it.
so much, Gabro. You're actually I think this is one of the best streams we ever had, man. Thank you so
Yeah.
much. You're very knowledgeable, and
You too.
a lot of good education we had here today. So, guys, thank you for watching us. Thank you for all the comments. Make sure you go follow Gabro's channel, even if you don't understand Italian. Put the damn
Learn.
translation on the YouTube, and thank you all for watching, man.
Yeah, guys. Link for his channel is down in the description below. Go like and subscribe. All that good stuff. Until next time, folks. Everyone, take care.
Peace.
Peace.